Through this meditation, through this reflection, then he will come to a level of excitement with love when he says the Shema, when he says V'ahavta b'chol levavcha chulu. He says love to Hashem b'chol levavcha. He will have that excitement. That is because of the preparation, the brachas before the Shema. Yetzu b'shorus Hashem b'shorus. So he'll come to V'ahavta. Ahavta means love, but it also means shehu loshin rotzin u'tshuka. He will come. It's a language of want and yearning. Dahainu tshuka salei b'bchinas rotzei. That is a yearning of the heart in a way of running, of rushing, to be included in the unity of Hashem, in the echad. It'll be wanted to be in the echad, not to be a separate, not to be of the through the gevuris, that all these different tzimtzumim, all the many of the creation, he wants to go back and connect and attach himself to the source, to the Eibishter, to the level of Avdus Hashem. So he says, Achine Isa b'Sefer Yitzira, what it says in the Sefer Yitzira, Imrotz libcha shuv le'echad. If your heart runs, go back to one, le'echad. Go back to one. In other words, if you're running and you want to connect to the Eibishter in a level of Ava, you have to have a level of return, a level of Yira, to become back to the Echad, because no matter how strong your love and you're running the Ratzi to Hashem, you're still a Metzias, you're still somebody that loves and wants to connect to Hashem. There has to be the echad. There has to be back to the one, to the connection to Hashem. Pirush echad. What does it mean echad? That the bechinas rotzen hanal b'tshuvka shebelev l'maylo. That above rotzen, with that yearning in the heart that you want to go out to above, you want to go out, you're running higher, you want to expire into higher. There needs to be a level of return. There needs to be the level of a fear and a great trembling. Level of yira represents the total subjugation from any entity, mamish, to totally negate yourself. Because when we talk about love, you're still an entity, you're somebody. Because minimally, you're still an entity. I love Hashem. But when a person is afraid and level of fear, then you're not in your essence at all, because you have been subjugated, you're no more Metzias. So then after you have that return through the level of Yira, after that it goes back. Then you come back to another level of Rotzi B'Ava. It's like a cycle. You have a level of Rotzi, Ava, Yira, Shuv. Then you have another level of Rotzi, Ava, K'mesha Kosuv. As it says, V'achayis Rotzi V'shoiv. We're talking about V'achayis HaKodesh. We're talking about the Malachim that are called Chayis. It's Rotzi V'shoiv. It's always going up and down. The Mashma, it appears, Shatomit Chayzel Chalila, that they're constantly going around, going back in a cycle. Achrei HaRotzi, Shuv. After Shuv, V'achrei HaShuv, Rotzi. You have the Rotzi, the Shuv, and then you have the Shuv and the Rotzi. So there's a constantly. So to give a very interesting mashal, he says we have the Abba V'yira are the wings, like by the bird that fly up, so they go. But he said the wings have to constantly go up and down. He has to flap the wings. That means you have to always go up and down. The only way the bird can fly is not by just putting the wings up. It's not going to fly. To put it up and down. Same thing when you're swimming. You have to keep on going up and down. Hainu b'chinas Abba V'yira shel HaMalochim v'chayis HaKodesh. So that is when it says that is going there, and that is the Abba V'yira of the Malachim v'chayis HaKodesh. Shenemar, over there it says ubishtayim ya'ofef, that he flies with two. So what does it mean? Pirush ya'ofef al derech mashal. What is the meaning of ya'ofef? For example, hatziper sheyov l'maylo. In order for the bird to fly above, sheyev shelo lo'uf, it can't fly. Ki'im shetakbiya knofel klapi maylo. It raises the wings towards upwards. Umiyad tachzer v'teridam lamato. And immediately she goes back and she lowers the wing below. And through the means of elevation and descent, Zois Tomid Bishas Menichos, constantly as it's flying, as she's flapping the wings, he may gedola. That's how she flies with a great speed. Like somebody who's swimming in the water. Has to bring up and bring down constantly the hands and the feet. You got to be constantly maneuvering up and down. If the wings would just go up, it would not go down. The bird could not fly. Be only by means of connecting the two, the up and down, one after the other, without any delay. And so it goes in the circle over again. That is the cause why it's flying. Say, like we'll understand actually. It says that it flies with two. That's the level. The two is level of Yira. That's the level of the Rotsa V'Shoiv. Ava Rotsa in the Shoiv is Yira. Shenikru Gatvi. That's called the wing. That is called Gatvi Kidua. So what do we need? So we need it to be that it needs to be. You need to have it a Rotsa V'Shoiv one after the other. And that's the way specifically that the angels fly by connecting and one after the elevation to the other elevation. That constant cycle. So he says there's a difference between the way we start from below to above and the way it comes from above to below. So from below to above, we start with the Ratzui. First you go up, and then Shuv, then you go down. But from above, we have a different expression from the Kabbalah is Moti. Moti means it reaches and doesn't reach. So it means it comes down, and Mispasha, not Mispasha. It starts with the Ispashtu, basically. It starts with the Shuv and goes back to the Ratzui. So from above to below, we call this level Moti V'Lei Moti. Shehu Heipach Seder Sidur Rotzu V'Shuv Shem Mata L'Maylo. That is the opposite order that we have from below to above. Ki Rotzu V'Shuv, when we talk about Rotzu V'Shuv, which is Mata L'Maylo, Rotzu Tchila, V'Achach Shuv. First you have the Rotzu, the desire, the yearning to go out, and then you return. First Ahav and then Yira. V'Ainu V'Schinas, first, you have the removal, which precedes the level of his pashtus v'hamshocha, the Megilas Shuv, the expansion and the extension in the level of Shuv. Oh no, but when we go from above to above, from above to below, it's just the opposite. Shebchinas moti his pashtus, his pashtus kaidam love lebchinas leimoti b'chinas istalkus. Over there, the level of expansion moti comes before the level of leimoti, which is the level of istalkus. The reason for that is explained elsewhere, and that's sufficient for now. So that's the level of Abba V'yira that the person has to have. His burdenness that the person reflects. He comes to a level of Abba V'yira. He comes to the level of the Brachas Krishma. So after that, Yuchal Odom. So then we can come to the Amida. This is all the preparation of the Brachas Krishma, the Shema, Ba'ahavta. After they have the Rotzav Shov, the Nikra got to the person that's created that level of the wings, the Abba V'yira, Yuchal Odom Lahamshav V'tfilah La'ir Sof. Then the person can continue in his davening to the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, to the infinite. Blessed be He. That he should illuminate in the 18 brachas of the davening. When he says Baruch Atah Hashem, I said before that it should come down into the world, into the 18 chulyas, into the world. Why do we need to have the Abba V'yira? Like we explained in the Moshel. Without having the elevation, the descent, which is the Rotzav B'shuv, the Abba V'yira can't fly. Also in Malachim it says that it flies with two. Then it says they will say Kodesh Hashem Tzvokos, which means that the Kodesh Hashem will be drawn down into Tzvokos. In the armies, in the Malachim, through the Abba V'yira, you have the Kodesh Hashem in the Tzvokos. Generally, when we say to bring it down, in the Tzvokos, that's generally is the Chai Chulyas. Those are the 18 Chulyas of the spine. Shenikroim, Chai Kelim, the Gilu Ein Sof Baruch Hu. Those are the 18 vessels for the revelation of the Ein Sof, blessed Ein Sof. K'moi. When you say the bracha, he heals the sick of Israel. That brings down the oir in refuah. And when he says you grace for a person, das, meaning that brings down the light in das. The hainu, what does it mean to come down the light in das? The hainu das melakus, to bring down a person das in godliness. And this applies to get the person to das, even somebody who doesn't have his own das. Choinen das, Hashem gives him das. Gam lemi she'ein daitoi. Chozak b'his barinos, even one whose mind is not strong in his reflection, yamshik v'yichunun lo, he will draw down, and it will be graced them das, lahasik migdulos yisbarach, to grasp from his blessed greatness. Lefi she'ein habracha shoyda b'asarei kono. Because the bracha does not rest in an empty space. It says in the Zohar. So you need that choinen das, the refuah needed to dress up, needs to rest in something. That's why they instituted these 18 brachim, for they are a level of kelim, the kabel b'chinas gilu ha'or, to receive that level of revelation of light. Like it says elsewhere on the Pasuk that we have these kelim, the 18 brachas that are mapshich the oir into those kelim. This is what it's written before. The Megillah which is the Torah, also called Megillah. It's written, it has the two faces. It has the face and the back. So what are the two levels? So we talked about before. It's the level of Torah, the level of the davening. The Torah is called Torah, is called level of Ponim, and the davening is called the level of Ocher. What is the meaning of the level of Ponim? That's Hainu, that is the level of Chochmah of Torah. Shemelubash ba in the Torah is dressed up. A shine from the Ponim from above. And from that level, also didn't get from that level of Ha'aras Ponim that is in the level of Chochmah, the Tzavu Ponim, but says of Chadata. He explained earlier that why it shines. So you didn't get from there too. The pasuk says, Yoir Hashem Ponim Eilecha. Okay, now it will shine the face of that level of Ha'aras Ponim from Chochmah in the Torah. It comes through to a Yid. But what is the back? Hainu. That is level of davening. That is to reveal the light of the Insof in the level of the Hain, which is those are the 18 chulyos that come from the Moich Hadas canal. As we said before, through the spine, which connects the level of Das with the rest of the body. So you cannot reach the level of Ha'aras Ponim the Torah. First, you have to have the level of the back, which is the level of the davening, the Hainu, Bechinas Gilui Hamshocha, the Bechinas Rotzu B'Shem Davke Canal. So it has to come down through the level of Rotzu B'Shoy, the level of Abba B'Yira, which is through the davening, and then you can bring it down to the level of Torah. This is the kitzer of what we just spoke about in Ois Beis. Shagam al yidei ha'maisa, that also through the level of Maisa, Yuchal Lahagia Lebchinas Yoir Hashem Ponim Eilecha. So not only through Torah, also through Maisa, through the mitzvahs, everything you can reach the level of Yoir Hashem Ponim Eilecha to the higher level of Ha'aras Ponim. Achiev Shalove Lebchinas Ponim, but you can't come to the level of Ponim. Elo al yidei sheyageya nafshi b'tfila tchila. First, you have to effort, your soul put a lot of effort first in davening. Shenikra Ocher, the davening is called back. Al derech, similar to what we say, Acharei Hashem Elokeichem telechu. You go after, so you see the level of Ocher. Al derech lechtech acharei. The pasuk says you have gone beyond and back of me. So these are all ideas that talk about the back. The oid. So he said, he gives the reason. But the other one was because the reason why it's the back is because the 18 brachas of the davening, we're talking now about davening, they are corresponding to the 18 chulyos, 18 vertebrae that are in the spine, and they are in the back. That's where the back is. That's where the spine is. So it's called ocher. And also they come from the Moich Hadas. That's the back of the Moich Chochmah. So the Moich Chochmah are in front, and the Moich Hadas is in the back. So that's why it's called the back. And the 18 chulyos and the spinal cord, they extend in the body between the shoulders. That's the back, not the front, the back. Hainu, and that is Shemahadas Nasa Chesed Gvura, that from the Das becomes Chesed Gvura. So that's the level of Ocher. That's the level of Tefillah. Asheikin HaTorah, the Chochmah Bina, Torah that is Chochmah Bina Nafkes, that's Nikras Ponim. That's called Ponim. Just like you can't go in with the inner keys, but you first need the outer keys. We need the davening, you need the Avavira, because you can't get into the doors if you don't have the keys to the outside. How could you get into the inside? I said before from the Gemara. So what are the outer keys? That's the davening. That is the reflection. Praise the name of Hashem. They give us for the Abish says Adnai is the Gvura from Hashem, brings down the Olam. That way he'll come to the level of love and fear. Just by the Malachim, he says that through the two levels, that the two wings that it flies with, which is the level of Avavira, and that's what you call Kodesh. Likewise, by the person through his Avavira, which is the Rotz and the Shuv, so he will extend the light in the 18th blessing of the Daven. That's why it's written in the face and the back. You cannot bring down the level of Oros Ponim. Only through the Rotz Shuv and the Davening, the Avavira and the Davening. That comes, the davening, that Avavira comes from Das, which is in the level of the back. That is divided in the Chesed Gvura, which is the love and the fear of Hashem. This is what the pasuk says: Yo'er Hashem ponu v'itonu. Hashem should shine itonu, hainu itonu with us. We bring down the Yo'er Hashem. That this ha'oros panim comes through the salusa dilatato, which means that you first have to yearn to Hashem. You should yearn for this, the davening. So we told that means with us, we are invested, we are arousing this. As written elsewhere. Sorry about it. Okay. I put on my clock, but I don't know what happened. I don't know why I didn't wait. I slept very little. I couldn't sleep last night, so I got up. That's why I prepared. Otherwise, I prepared last night. I got up. Either I got up early or I got out. Today I didn't have a chance to prepare in the morning, but I prepared last night.